Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi. Amma ba'd. We welcome you to our Thursday evening Qur'an presentation. And today we're looking at Surah 69, verse 12. Surah 69, verse 12. And we're going to go through some of the grammar and meaning of the words in the verse by Abu Faris in the color-coded text we have here. And then we're going to concentrate on the idea of Qur'an by Qur'an. How we're going to define the Qur'an by the Qur'an and looking at a word concept. And today we're going to look at the concept of Athan in the Qur'an. By developing a word field, then we'll write a concept, a word concept from that word field, after which we will write a reflection. We do not call it translation, but it will be reflection on the verse and then a comment. And our comment will be as it applies to the audience that I am speaking to. Where do we see this idea being applied today, 2018? In America, not in Saudi Arabia, not in Pakistan, not in Africa, as it applies in America. That is the idea of the word fiqh, the everyday application, the application in your own life, the Qur'an. So we begin reading Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Li naj'alaha lakum tazkiratan wa ta'iyaha udhunun wa'iyatun. So we take the first word here. This would be in order that we make it. So the general idea of this word here, naj'ala, is make. Naj'ala is make. So it is so make here is naj'ala is a fi'lun, it's a verb, and its mudari'un is present tense. And the blue let us know it is marfu'un, it's indicative. It's indicative. And it is in a fatha. Naj'ala. It is in a fatha because we go back to see what came before it to call it the in fatha. So it's not indicative. It is, blue is for subjunctive. It's mansoob. But pink is indicative. Blue is mansoob. So what caused it to be mansoob or subjunctive? We go to look and see what comes before it. So what's attached to it is this lamb. And this lamb, if we go and look on the list of the subjunctive particles that you have of your 5 basic sheets for Quranic Arabic, the rules, we have the rules on 5 basic sheets. This li would be, of course, the li meaning that, in order that. In order that we make it. And what makes it subjunctive, it is referring to something that has occurred. But we're not going to go back to look at the previous verse. We're extracting an idea from this verse here. An idea from the Quran that gives us a conceptual idea of Athan. So we have li naj'alaha. And this ha here is this mean is abbreviation for maf'ulun. It's maf'ulun bihi awal. It's the first object of the verb. It's in the place of a noun. It's a pronoun serving in the place of a noun. Therefore, it will follow the rules of the noun, being the maf'ulun bihi, the object of the verb naj'al. And naj'al means nusiyyaraha. Nusiyyaraha is, you could say, to make or to become something. So we call it nusayyira in order that we cause it to become. We cause it to become. Lakum, for you, so we would just say for you, tabkiratan, and tabkiratan here is a maf'ulun bihi thani. So we say maf'ulun bihi is the object of the verb. It tells us what we make. We make it. And again, we make a tabkiratan for you. So this becomes the maf'ulun bihi thani, the second object of the verb. Sometimes the verb can take more than one object. And tabkiratan is ma yabatu ala al-dhikri. What evolves? I'm going to say evolve, so yabatu, bath, to cause you to rise up from a stupor or rise up from a sleep or to evolve. Ala dhikri, upon remembrance, upon a dhikri, the message, or upon remembrance, something that is lodged in you, that you began to recall, that comes up. Sometimes it's revealed to you. It becomes revealing. It comes up. Yabas, revealing. Tadkiratan. وَتَئِيَهَا أُذُنٌ وَإِيَةٌ. So ta'iyaha here, ta'iyaha, this is grammatically, it's a fi'lun, mudari'un, a verb, present tense, and it is also mansub. It's also dative. And what caused it to be dative? So we go back, we see a wa here, but this wa here is an atfun. See, this is a very good book. It's a very good book. It tells you it's atfun. And atfun does not cause the verb, it's not a adjective particle if it's atfun. But we have to go back and see atfun meaning conjunction. What is it being joined to? So if we go back, we would say, ta'iyya is joined to the verb naj'ala. So we make it and ta'iyya has. And it means to give attention. So we're going to say, ta'iyya has means tahfizaha or tahfazaha. How be that? Tahfaziha. Maybe tahfaziha. Tahfizaha. Meaning preserve it. To preserve it. I'm going to use the word preserve. So preserve it. So we make it and we preserve it. Not we preserve it, because this tab would be the tab for the feminine she. She preserves it. And then udunun, it ends in tanween dhamma, becomes the fa'ilun. Fa'ilun is ismun fa'ilun marfu'un. It's a noun, it's a subject of the verb, and it is nominative. Marfu'un because it ends in tanween dhamma. So it is doing the action of the verb. And the verb is ta'iyya. So this tells us grammatically, because it's ta'iyya, not ya'iyya, that udunun is feminine. It's feminine. Because it's a verb that's used with it. That's how we can tell it's feminine. So udhunun is an ear or hearing, an ear or hearing. Or we're going to look and see what is the definition of udhunun. It's adwu as-sam'i. It is the faculty of hearing, the faculty or the limb or the faculty of hearing, udhunun. So you would say literally or simple, an ear. An ear preserves it. And an ear preserves it. And we make it for you tazkiratan. Tazkiratan is that which evolves, which the remembrance evolves. It evolves, it comes up, evolves. Then an ear preserves it. Then we have wa'iyatun. Wa'iyatun is a ismun. We know it's ismun because it has the ta marbuta. The ta marbuta, or ta'un marbutatun, is the tied ta, and sometimes it's used to indicate the feminine. So it is na'atun. It's an adjective describing udhunun. Once again, we can see udhunun as feminine because we're using an adjective is describing it. So wa'iyatun here is havidatun. Havidatun, again, meaning preserving. So you're saying it twice. You're saying ta'iyah. This is the present tense verb of wa'iyah. Wa'iyatun. So you would say a preserving ear preserves it by listening attentively to it. And we could say it is something that yabathu ala dhikri. It evolves upon the message or the remembrance, and it's being preserved. So here's some ideas that we get from here. We take it from these definitions. We're getting ideas for our reflection and commentary. Now we're going to look at Qur'an by Qur'an. And Qur'an by Qur'an, the word we want to define is the word udhunun. Udhunun, which is from the same root. Athan is from. Athan. Udhunun and Athan. Because our idea is we want a conceptual idea of Athan. So what we're saying now, because we're using Qur'an by Qur'an, what we're saying in the verse is giving us the conceptual idea of Athan. All that we're saying. So you have to hold it. That's why one verse says a lot. You want to hold in your thinking what we've just said. Now we're going to go and look at a couple of verses and extract key words from it to give us a greater conceptual idea of Athan, which it would be centered around udhunun. So in this verse, the verse that we just read, لِنَجْعَلَهَا لَكُمْ تَذْكِرَةً وَتَعِيَهَا أُذُنٌ وَإِيَةٌ. In order that, literally, we're just saying we make it for you, tazkiratan, a message. وَتَعِيَهَا أُذُنٌ, and an ear that listens it attentively, preserving it. A preserving ear, preserving it, we could say. So we take the word tazkiratan, ta'iyah, and wa'iyah. So these two are basically the same. So we have the idea of a message. We have the idea of attentive, being attentive, and we could say also preserving. preserving. Now, here is a second verse. وَمِنْهُمْ الَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ النَّبِيَّ وَيَقُولُونَ هُوَ أُذُنٌ قُلْ أُذُنُ خَيْرٍ لَكُمْ. He says, and from them, وَمِنْهُمْ, from them, الَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ. يُؤْذُونَ is to harm. This word is to harm. And from them are those. And we're going to tell you who those are. Those are those who harm. They harm. But yu'zuna, if you look at it, it comes close to the idea of udhunun. Udhunun. Yu'zuna. So, but it's the opposite of what we're talking about. I put it in the category of opposite. But harm. So we could say hearing is good for you, and hearing can harm you. On the play of this word, yu'zuna, because hearing in the Bible is blessed is he that hear the word. So if you hear the word, yu'zuna, udhunun, you're hearing the word. You're hearing it in the sense of it being a homonym. And by it being a homonym, and it's making similar sounds, it carries with it the idea, a similar idea, or related idea. And Nabiya, the prophet. So those who they harm the prophet. وَيَقُولُونَ, and they say, and this is what they want to say, by harming him. They say, huwa udhunun. He is an ear. He's an ear. Kul say. So I'm just giving an idea of the verse. They said he's an ear, meaning he listens to everything. Everything someone comes to him with, he listens. So they're not saying he's an ear in the terms of being good. They're saying he's an ear in the terms of harming him by saying he's listening. He listens to everyone, whatever comes. The hypocrite, disbeliever, the believer, he's very patient and he listens. But say, beautiful verse. We don't have time to go through this verse. This is the verse we're extracting from. Qul, say, udhunu khayrin, the ear of good. Lakum, for you. The ear of good for you. So there's a saying, there's an Arabic proverb. It says sometimes you have to catch the bird while it's flying. Meaning that this is a recording. I'm leaving room for you to think much on these verses and what we're saying without me trying to detail everything that comes to my mind. So we have yu'zuna. So yu'zuna is harm. We put harm, and then we have also khayr and good. We have harm and we have good based upon the ear. And the next verse we have Yawma yaqumu arruhu. The spirit stands. The spirit stands. It's erected. The day, Yawma arruhu yaqumu arruhu. The day the spirit stands. And we're talking on this side. When we're teaching Qur'an, we're talking on this side of the life, not on the other side of the life. Well, malaikatu and the angels, saffan, as ranks. La yatakallamuna, they do not speak. Illa, except man azina lahu ar-Rahmanu, except he who the merciful. Adina lahu. Here is permission. Gives permission for him or for it. So only he who is given permission by the Ar-Rahman. But Adina is the verb form, the root verb form of udunun. So this idea of being, or we could say, he who has heard him, he who's the Rahman has heard him. You know, when you go to court, we call it a hearing. A hearing. If you're not qualified to speak in the court, the judge will not hear you. You cannot have a hearing. Yes, he hear you speaking, he hear you talking, he hear your words, but they will say, no, he will not hear you. So this is the one to give permission, meaning that the Ar-Rahman will hear. It says, they will not speak, except he who, the most merciful one, will hear. وَقَالَ, and he said, Sawaban. Sawaban means a truth, but I have here consciously. He is speaking consciously. Okay. Now we have the word Yatakalamuna, we would say speak. And we have the word mercy. Ar-Rahman is mercy. And we have Sawaban. This is the word for conscience. I have conscience. Consciously. Consciousness. We could say consciousness. Now, from these words, we create the word field. Yeah, I'll try to get both of them kind of in the screen here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, we'll try to get them both in the screen here. Okay. So we have, remember, for tazkiratan, we just put the word, and these are not the words grammatically as they appear in the verse. We're extracting from the verse because we're extracting a conceptual idea. So we may not use the word literally in the context they were used. We're not using the literal context of verses, nor are we using the word literally grammatically as they appear in the verse. We're getting a conceptual idea. We're reading for an idea. So we have remember, and we have also message. We can also say message if we want to say message. And then we have attentive or preserve, we could say. We have good. And we have speak, mercy, and we have conscience. And we have the one in red here, harm. Harm is the opposite. It's kind of an opposite. But we'll put it in with the conceptual idea. So now what we do, we just grab the verses, three verses here with the main verse, and we look at the key words, some key words in the verse. We can use other words, aru, and for spirit, the spirit and the angel and soften, but we don't want to get too many words to make it too complicated because I'm showing you the idea of Qur'an by the Qur'an, how the Qur'an defines itself. We're using Qur'an. We're staying within what we call the world view of the Qur'an itself. We're not going outside of the Qur'an. We're staying within the world view of the Qur'an as we get these conceptual ideas and put together our comment. Now, we're going to create the word concept. by taking these words here, and may add words here and there, to create a concept. So here we're going to say, remember or preserve a good message by being consciously attentive. Remember or preserve a good message by being consciously attentive, which causes no harm and allows you to speak by Allah's mercy. This is the conceptual idea of Athan. Think about the Athan and how we stand, where we place our hands to the ears, and the wording of the Athan. This gives us the conceptual idea of Athan. Now, you're not going to go and find a book and look it up or Google and find this definition for Athan, this conceptual idea. We're getting it now, based upon the Qur'an itself. And you've seen, I'm giving you the sources in which I have come about this conceptual idea, based on the Qur'an itself. Now, in the reflection of the verse, we will not say translation, but we want to say reflection. We will say, we will induce in you, through the faculty of hearing, an evolving message that carries no harm. Being a preserving ear, listening attentively and reflecting, you will become consciously awakened and given the permission to speak by Allah's mercy. That's the verse on the Athan. You go back to the recording, take your time, and think about it. So here is the comment now. Now we have here, and we do this for the students, we have your reflection. We've had the word field, we get a conceptual idea, we just took one of the words with the conceptual idea, and we took the conceptual idea and included it in our reflection, along with the other words that's in the verse. Then we're going to make the comment. And making the comment, we want to look to see how we can apply this idea. What does this mean to us right now? What do it mean to this listening audience right now, 2018, in America? That's the idea of the application of the verse. We want our minds to stay right here. And I'm going to do this with an added source of Imam W.D. Muhammad. But it's not literal from the Imam, but it's extracted also to bring about this conceptual, this comment, using this conceptual idea of Athan. So a comment is, the Athan, or hearing, awakens in us a consciousness to attentively attend to matters that will evolve us, or else we are considered asleep. More or less, sleep is a form of death if we do not evolve. Animals, we do not see evolution. The same birdhouse we saw 100 years ago is the same birdhouse today. The same beehive that we saw 100 years ago is the same beehive today. Even though it has a wondrous architectural design with air conditioning and all in it, it still has not evolved from that state. If man is in that state, he's asleep. It is the beloved nature in us that has been rejected by the world and rendered us as international social outcasts. However, we find that same beloved nature in all people. The same beloved nature that they ridicule and put down is the same beloved nature that's in all people. We must socially rise from having a spirit of too much sing and dance, or having a ball. A ball is a play on the word Bilal. You can hear it. Bilal ball. If you want to get more, I'm sure you can visit my good friend, Imam Benjamin Bilal. He will show you the relationship between Bilal and ball, which at one time was a saving force. Sing and dance, or having a ball, at one time was a saving force to relieve us of a miserable life, without being, we could say, totally destroyed physically. The spirit of Bilal, the spirit of ball, the spirit of ball must evolve to that of Bilal, which Allah has given us permission to speak to the world. Thus, we are Bilalians. That's the short comment on the verse based upon the sources, application, how it applies to us, so forth and so on. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and we thank you for taking this time to listen to us this evening. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.